Fast-moving cash leaves local folks on the short end of the stick. It's called the quick change tonight.
This expectant mom says she's due any day, but her home is set to be demolished, and she says she'll be out on the street.
And from spray on snow to celebrity directors, we'll take you on a voyage behind tonight's special episode of Star Trek Voyager.
See what's happening in your world right now with the home team on the 10 o'clock news.
You're watching Cleveland's home team. This is Channel 43's 10 o'clock news.
Good evening. It's called a quick change scam, and it's arrived in Greater Cleveland just in time for the Christmas shopping season.
For anyone who handles cash on the job, the message is clear. Beware of fast-talking customers. Paul Orlowski reports they could be trying to pull a fast one on you.
Spots all over Westlake were hit. 4 men, now under arrest, moved quickly, trying to confuse clerks at checkout counters as they made change. Police say their act was practiced, smooth, and always the same.
They come in and they buy a real small, inexpensive item like Lifesavers or candy, and they pay with, say, a $50 bill.
My guy bought a $1 lottery ticket with a $50 bill, and then he got $49 change back, and then he tried to start confusing me with he wanted different change.
They try to confuse the clerk.
He ended up giving me a 20, a 10, a $5 bill, and 5 ones, and he's like, can I have 4 10s for that? I'm like, sure. So I gave it to him, and he's like, no, can I have 2 20s? So I'm like, sure.
The store ended up losing $92 to the fast talker.
They're very good. It's hard to detect when they're doing it.
The quick change scam may seem like nickel and dime stuff, but it's not. This ice cream store lost $200, and because of that, a gas station nearby posted an article about this loss on its cash registers. It paid off. Clerk Chad Rhodes refused anything but the simple change for the customer's purchase.
I just remembered it from the newspaper clipping that my boss showed me, and it just clicked, and I kind of knew what was going on.
The men were arrested a short time later, but other communities report similar scams, so beware.
The only thing I can say to look out for would be not a regular customer or someone who's making you nervous about the money when they're changing it.
Paul Orlowski reporting for the 10 o'clock news.
Tonight, 2 men have been charged in connection with a fatal shooting on the city's east side. Mario Hayes and William McKinley are charged with aggravated murder in connection with the drive-by shooting death of Ethel Watkins. Watkins was sleeping when a hail of bullets came through the walls of her home on Anderson Avenue. And according to 911 tapes that were also released today, the caller may have known who pulled the trigger.
Someone shot. Yes. I got up, man. Hold on. Are the people that did the shooting, are they still there? No, there was a drive-by, but I know who did it.
Tonight, police are still looking for 1 man in connection with that shooting.
Stop the madness!
Save our family!
Save our family!
Stop the madness!
And family and friends of Ethel Watkins gathered tonight to remember the slain woman with a candlelight prayer vigil. Members of Watkins' family were there tonight. They have asked that the 3rd suspect in the shooting turn himself in, or if anyone has information about the shooting, please contact police.
We have new details tonight about the package found with 2 pipe bombs at the Akron post office. Christy Carlson has the very latest on a story you saw first right here on the 10 o'clock news.
As customers did their business at the Akron post office, they were thinking about what went down last night.
I think it's really terrible that someone has that mentality to harm somebody else. But that's the day and time we're living in, so I guess you can expect unexpected anymore.
The postal inspector says the shoebox-sized parcel was left in this collection box on North Main Street. It looked suspicious because it had improper postage and was labeled with letters cut from magazines. Once the bomb squad determined the package was explosive, it was disrupted, meaning deactivated, with water cannons.
What I can tell you is that this device, had it functioned the way that it was supposed to, certainly would have injured whoever opened it, and based on what I know, it probably would have been very serious for him.
The parcel was addressed to an Akron narcotics detective.
Does he have any idea why anyone would want to send him this type of a package?
At this particular time, no.
Chief Edward Irvine says the targeted officer is helping in the investigation, but he and other officers are being extra careful.
We've stepped up security, especially of the building here, and we've made the officers aware of things that they should be watching for.
Anything in particular?
Unusual packages and things such as that.
The dismantled bomb will be hand-delivered to the U.S. Postal Inspector's crime lab in Washington, D.C. tomorrow, where it will be examined for things such as fingerprints and fibers, evidence that will help determine who sent the bomb and why. Christy Carlson, the 10 o'clock news.
A county coroner's report tonight now confirms what an area hospital first said regarding an infant who died during surgery last month. 3-week-old Dustin Evans suffered from cardiopulmonary arrest while undergoing surgery at Rainbow Babies and Children's Hospital. The trauma was the result of a negative reaction to anesthesia, but the doctor who performed the procedure says this kind of reaction is extremely rare.
It's quoted anywhere from 1 in 10,000 to 1 in 100,000 cases does something like this happen. So it's something that is something that most physicians will never see.
The infant was undergoing surgery to correct a circumcision that wasn't healing properly.
The residents of a Cleveland apartment building recently learned that their home will be torn down. The city says they should have known, but that's no consolation for the residents, including a pregnant woman who took our Deborah Steele on a tour tonight.
It was a shock because I took my son to school, I come home, and I find a building inspector going through, asking questions.
That's when tenants say the inspector plastered condemned signs all over the building and gave them notices to vacate by November 30th. The notice said the building was hazardous to humans and animals. Tenants showed us exposed wiring in their furnaces and walls.
The electrical wires was hanging down, the water was leaking from upstairs. They had to cut it off, get upstairs and have no water. The furnace is hooked into the wall instead of run properly.
A city housing official told me landlord Raleigh Geis had 12 court cases involving rental properties that are not up to code. The city says this building's been condemned for over a year, but Mr. Geis continued to rent it out. A city commissioner calls the situation unfortunate. She says the landlord is at fault, but says the city will do what it can to find those victims housing. We made several attempts to call and contact Mr. Geis, but didn't get an answer. Tenants here tell us they not only have problems with utilities and repairs, they also have to deal with unwanted guests like rats, roaches, and mice. Carla is pregnant and due any day now. She says there are other pregnant women in the building as well, and they, like
Ever since it first appeared on the winter scene, the Bridgestone Blizzak Winter Biter has been acclaimed as setting a new standard for snow and ice tires. The Blizzak Winter Biter has outstanding acceleration, cornering, and stopping. And now there's the Blizzak Ice Gripper with Unity, a premium ice tire made to stop on glare ice. Both from Bridgestone, the next revolution in tires. Blizzak is available at these fine Bridgestone retailers.
Tonight, Ohio's Attorney General says the state will be part of that huge settlement reached with the tobacco industry. Betty Montgomery made the announcement this afternoon in Columbus. 46 states are suing cigarette companies to recover costs of treating sick smokers. Ohio will get nearly $10 billion paid out over 25 years. The other states have until noon Friday to decide if they will take part in that deal.
Random drug testing has been a part of professional sports for many years, but soon student athletes from one local school district will be subjected to the testing as well. Michael Burdell has the story.
1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3.
Athletes at the Highland Local School District are expected to be in shape and stay away from drugs. They sign contracts to stay clean at the start of each year.
There's a lot of people that lie about it. Like, they say they're not going to take drugs, and they do, and that ruins it for, like, not only themselves, but, like, for the whole team.
But beginning next month, Highland athletes will be under a random testing policy that has teeth.
The first offense is that a student would be out of 20% of the athletic contest for that particular season. And then the second offense, they would be excluded from all contests.
Dr. Carlson says the idea isn't to punish these kids, but give them a way to resist peer pressure.
I'll keep people honest. It's a good way to keep us clean.
The testing won't be confined just to here at the high school. Officials also plan to test athletes at the middle school. And students we spoke to say that's an excellent idea.
If you can catch someone like in 6th grade doing drugs and you stop them, you could very possibly have just changed their life.
Athletes will be tested for alcohol, drugs, and steroids. Next year, students in all extracurricular activities may be tested too. Michael Burdell, the 10 o'clock news.
The son of Dr. Sam Shepard says that he's still waiting for justice.
A Hollywood version of the life of Sam Shepard was shown last night on our sister station, CBS 19. Tonight, Mike O'Mara re-examines the 44-year-old murder mystery of Marilyn Shepard. The question, was her husband guilty till proven innocent?
It was always more than a murder of Marilyn Shepard. The story of that terrible night in July of 1954 has always been a dangerous combination of mystery, murder, sex, society, power, and politics. Many now believe that Dr. Sam Shepard never had a chance, guilty till proven innocent. Few people believed his story.
I saw this white object as I came up the stairs. The silhouette of a biped that was apparently taller than myself, and the head was of a large, bushy nature.
Upstairs, 31-year-old Marilyn Shepard had been savagely beaten. Her attacker had struck her 35 times with a blunt object. County Coroner Sam Gerber didn't buy Dr. Sam's story. It was too clinical. Didn't believe the doctor was injured battling the intruder. Gerber quickly made up his mind. Sam Shepard was the killer.
No, I don't have any personal feelings. As I said before, this is a land of laws.
The Cleveland Press agreed. Day after day, the editor, Louis Seltzer, made sure the headlines demanded that Dr. Sam be brought to justice. Bill Levy was a young Newswire reporter in Cleveland at the time of the murder.
Well, he was the most powerful man in Cleveland at the time, and the Cleveland Press was, you know, it was a very, very powerful newspaper, and what Louis Seltzer wanted, he usually got.
Under Ohio law, the coroner's office had the power to direct a murder investigation. And that's exactly what happened. Dr. Gerber came here to Normandy School in Bay Village for what was called a coroner's inquest. And he invited the neighbors and, of course, the media. And it turned into a show, the Sam Gerber Show.
And I remember when Dr. Sam was on the witness stand, and Dr. Gerber, who was the coroner at the time, asked him whether or not he had ever had sexual relations with a nurse by the name of Susan Hayes. And he said, no, he didn't.
But Sam wasn't telling the truth. Later, they brought in the mystery woman, Susan Hayes, an attractive nurse from Los Angeles. She admitted the affair.
And the prosecutor said, if this man would lie to protect a woman, what would he do to protect his own life?
Sam Shepard was found guilty of murder in the second degree. But his defenders claimed that prosecutors proved only that he cheated on his wife, not that he killed her.
I mean, basically, you had a complete sham of a trial, at best a sloppy case, if not a downright attempt to railroad an innocent man.
After a short career as a big-time wrestler, Dr. Sam Shepard, after abusing sedatives and booze, died from liver failure. The shadow of his father's painful legacy has been the focal point of Sam Shepard's life. The old photos taken through the years could never capture the inner turmoil that he was forced to deal with. Now living in Oakland, California, Sam Reese makes no apologies for his quest for justice for his father and himself.
I mean, I'm still fairly troubled. People are. You know, I know people who've gone through similar experiences who have not survived. You know, children don't survive this quite often. I mean, again, to be smeared by some of the public officials in Cleveland to say, get a life, where this is my life. You know, I'm supposed to turn my back on my dad and my mother, who loved each other, whose love was besmirched by petty people. No way. Part of the shocking part about it, to me, is that the rest of the world, the rest of the country, knows of my dad's innocence. It's turned. We have turned the legend on its head. Chicago, Pittsburgh, Cincinnati, Columbus, everybody knows that my dad was innocent. Cleveland won't give it up. So what do? I don't know. We live on.
Mike O'Mara will have a special in-depth report on the Sam Shepard story Sunday, November 29th on our sister station, CBS 19. It begins at 3:30 in the afternoon.
It's like you wonder when there will be a conclusion to this whole thing, if there ever will be.
That's right, maybe never.
Well, a minor accident sparks tragedy.
Still ahead, what started the fatal fire that left this religious retreat in ruins?
And we're exposing the secrets behind the 100th episode of Star Trek Voyager.
Tonight's 10 o'clock news is sponsored by your local Dodge dealers.
For those who have always been attracted to power, Dodge Dakota has the only available V8 in its class. Now when you buy select Dodge Dakota Club cabs, you'll get a 230 horsepower Magnum V8 at no extra charge. Why would someone want a truck with this much power? We think it has something to do with their childhood. Now get a $500 cash allowance on a Dodge Dakota.
The first snowfall is a sign to call old friends and celebrate the season with something new. Chicken soup, the way it was meant to be made. Introducing Simply Home. Plump, tender white chicken, wild and white rice, and a savory stock. It's probably why soup spoons are bigger. New Simply Home. Soup good enough to call your own.
Casino Windsor, it's all new and oh so nice. Palm trees and waterfalls, it's a four-star paradise. Casino Windsor, odds are you love this place. More food, more fun, more entertainment to put a smile right on your face. Casino Windsor.
For hotel reservations, call 1-800-991-8888.
Introducing the all-new Jeep Grand Cherokee with infrared dual-zone climate control. The only system in the world that actually reads body surface temperatures of driver and front passenger. At the slightest change, it automatically adjusts the cabin temperature, so conditions inside stay comfortable, even when the environment outside isn't. The all-new Jeep Grand Cherokee, the most capable sport utility ever. Check one out at your Jeep dealer.
Tragedy for families in an Alabama religious commune.
Fire roars through a girls' dormitory and claims the lives of 4 preschoolers. That story is topping our Nation Watch tonight. Fire crews say the blaze at Holy Land Commune began when a little girl knocked over an electric lamp. 4 girls between the ages of 2 and 5 died in the fire. Investigators found no evidence of a sprinkler system or smoke detectors.
Fire investigators in Minneapolis are looking for the cause of a 4-alarm blaze at a downtown hotel. Flames could be seen shooting out of the top of the hotel's 14th floor. All of the hotel guests got out safely, even though some say they never heard a fire alarm. Sprinklers, though, near the fire were apparently working properly and helped firefighters quickly put out the blaze. And one of America's favorite actresses has passed away. Esther Rolle has died after a long battle with diabetes. She was 78. Rolle gained fame playing Florida Evans on the 70s sitcom Good Times. She also starred in films such as Driving Miss Daisy and Rosewood. Rolle earned an Emmy nomination for her work in Maya Angelou's I Know Why the Caged Bird Sings.
She was great.
She was a wonderful actress. Yes, she was. Well, it's 100 and counting for Star Trek Voyager.
That's right. A lot of work went into tonight's big landmark episode. Tonight, the 10 o'clock news goes behind the scenes with the cast and the crew.
See a large silhouette of a broken, tattered Voyager underneath the ice, which is, I mean, that in and of itself, just people are going to watch that and go, whoa!
We're here! In tonight's episode, Commander Chakotay and former Ensign Harry Kim brave blizzard conditions to try to change history. But how do they make it look so real? Crew members not only had to act dead, they had to look it. Much to the actors' surprise, their makeup came in a can of spray paint.
Well, I was told that they were going to, spray a thin layer of wax all over me, and they did. It was interesting.
Calling the shots on such a milestone episode is a big honor.
So he'll be here and on action, he'll swing that beacon around, and you go with the beacon.